Welcome to Have You Read It, the channel where we bring books to life, one summary at a time. Whether you're here for self-help, personal growth, or business inspiration, there's something for everyone. Today we're exploring The 4-Hour Body by Tim Ferriss, a book that promises to be your guide to hacking your body for everything from fat loss and muscle gain to better sleep and sex. This book is a dense one, folks, so buckle up. Tim Ferriss isn't a doctor or scientist, but a self-experimenter who has spent years and a small fortune testing techniques on himself and others. He's gathered insights from hundreds of experts, doctors, athletes, scientists, and shares what he considers the most effective tools and techniques for body transformation. One of the core concepts in The 4-Hour Body is the minimum effective dose. This idea, borrowed from exercise guru Arthur Jones, is about finding the smallest dose that will produce a desired outcome. Whether you're trying to boil water or lose fat, anything beyond the med is wasteful. In biological systems like our bodies, exceeding the med can even stall your progress. This applies to both fat loss and muscle gain. Ferriss argues that most popular exercise and nutrition advice is inefficient and sometimes counterproductive. He encourages readers to question conventional wisdom. For example, he challenges the calories in, calories out model, demonstrating how he lost fat while overeating and emphasizing the role of heat and hormones in weight manipulation. Before you start any program, Ferriss stresses the importance of establishing a baseline and tracking your progress. He calls this your physical GPS. The scale can be misleading, so he recommends measuring body fat percentage and circumference. He explores various methods like DEXA scans, BOD-POD, and ultrasound, explaining the pros and cons of each. Even if you have to stick with simpler tools like calipers, consistency is key. Always use the same method and, if possible, the same technician. He also highlights the psychological aspects of behavioral change, introducing the Harajuku moment, an epiphany that transforms a nice-to-have into a must-have. This is the moment you decide to change, and he uses the example of Chad Fowler, a software engineer who lost more than 70 pounds after such a realization. Ferriss emphasizes 4 principles for failure-proofing your efforts. Make it conscious. Make it a game. Make it competitive. Make it small and temporary. He even shares the example of Phil Liben, who lost 28 pounds in 6 months by simply tracking his weight daily. Let's dive into the specifics of fat loss. The slow carb diet, Ferriss argues, is one of the most effective and easy-to-follow diets out there. It involves 5 simple rules. Avoid white carbohydrates. Eat the same few meals over and over again. Don't drink calories. Don't eat fruit. Take 1 day off per week and eat whatever you want. This cheat day is crucial for preventing metabolic slowdown and maintaining psychological well-being. Ferriss also recommends supplementing with potassium, magnesium, and calcium. He also emphasizes consuming enough legumes and drinking plenty of water. For those looking to minimize fat gain during planned or unplanned binges, Ferriss details a 3-pronged approach. First, minimize insulin release by starting with a high-protein, high-fiber meal, consuming a small amount of fructose beforehand, using insulin-sensitizing supplements, and consuming citric juices. Second, increase the speed of gastric emptying with caffeine and yerba mate. Third, engage in brief muscular contraction throughout the binge to transport glucose to muscles instead of fat cells. He also introduces a supplement stack called PAGI, polycosanol, alpha-lipoic acid, green tea flavanols, and garlic extract. This combination, taken before meals, is designed to enhance fat loss and improve insulin sensitivity. Ferriss also explores the role of temperature in weight manipulation, particularly cold exposure. He shares how former NASA scientist Ray Cronise lost almost 30 pounds in 6 weeks by incorporating cold showers, ice baths, and shiver walks. The rationale: cold activates brown adipose tissue, or fat-burning fat. He also suggests drinking a large glass of ice water upon waking. Now let's shift gears to muscle gain. Ferriss details his geek-to-freak experiment, in which he gained 34 pounds of muscle in 28 days. He followed a simple regimen of heavy lifting, a high-protein diet, and strategic supplementation. Key principles included 1 set to failure for each exercise, a slow 5-5 rep cadence, and a focus on a small number of exercises. He also details Occam's protocol, a minimalist approach to muscle gain. It involves alternating 2 workouts, each with just 2 main lifts, and gradually increasing rest time as you get bigger and stronger. The focus is on stimulating growth with the minimum effective dose, and the program is paired with a high-calorie, high-protein diet. He also suggests using L-glutamine and creatine monohydrate as supplements. For those struggling to gain weight, Ferriss suggests GOMAD, gallon of milk a day. Ferriss also explores how to build the perfect posterior, focusing on exercises like the kettlebell swing and the single-leg deadlift. He shares how Tracy Reifkind, a stay-at-home mom, lost more than 100 pounds using primarily kettlebell swings. He also provides 2 exercises for building six-pack abs, the myotatic crunch, and what he jokingly calls the cat vomit exercise. Moving on to sex, Ferriss shares his quest for understanding and facilitating the female orgasm. He stresses the importance of female masturbation as a prerequisite. He then details techniques for modifying common sexual positions to increase female pleasure, focusing on G-spot stimulation and clitoral pressure. He also describes the 15-minute orgasm technique, a goalless practice involving focused stroking of the clitoris. For men, Ferriss details 2 protocols for increasing testosterone levels. The first involves supplements like cod liver oil, vitamin D3, and Brazil nuts, along with cold exposure. The second is a short-term nitro boost, involving cholesterol loading before sex. He also discusses techniques for doubling sperm count, sharing how he increased his own sperm count by simply removing his cell phone from his pocket. For improving sleep, Ferriss details his experiments with various gadgets and techniques. He emphasizes the importance of maintaining a cool bedroom temperature, eating a large meal before bed, and using light cues. He recommends using a Philips Go Light blue light emitter in the morning. He also suggests taking cold baths, using an ultrasonic humidifier, and even resorting to what he calls the half-military crawl position if you have trouble falling asleep. He also explores polyphasic sleep, a method of sleeping in short bursts throughout the day, sharing the experiences of Dustin Curtis. While potentially offering more waking hours, this method requires strict adherence to a nap schedule. Ferriss devotes a significant portion of the book to injury prevention and reversal, outlining a 4-stage approach: movement, manipulation, medication, and mechanical reconstruction. He shares his experiences with everything from prolotherapy and active release technique to biopuncture and ego skew. He highlights the importance of Gray Cook's functional movement screen for identifying imbalances and details 4 corrective exercises: the chop and lift, Turkish get-up, 2-arm single-leg deadlift, and cross-body 1-arm single-leg deadlift. For improving running speed, Ferriss details his experience at the DeFranco gym, explaining how he increased his vertical jump and improved his 40-yard dash time. He emphasizes the importance of proper form, hip flexor flexibility, and using the fewest steps possible. For ultra-endurance, Ferriss shares insights from Brian McKenzie, who advocates training with 400-meter repeats and emphasizes strength training for injury prevention and recovery. McKenzie also emphasizes the importance of nutritional preparation and keeping a high stride rate while running. Ferriss also shares Barry Ross's approach to strength training for athletes, which involves low-volume, high-intensity lifting. He details Marty Gallagher's program for adding 100 pounds to your bench press in 6 months, emphasizing periodization, consistent training, and muscle gain. For maximizing swimming efficiency, Ferriss details his experience with total immersion, a swimming method that emphasizes shoulder roll and body position over arm strength and kicking. Finally, Ferriss touches on life extension, arguing against extreme caloric restriction and recommending intermittent fasting, protein cycling, and blood donation as more sustainable approaches. The main takeaway from The 4-Hour Body is simple. Your body is a system that can be hacked. By understanding the underlying principles, the minimum effective dose, the importance of measurement and tracking, and the power of small changes, you can achieve remarkable results. It's about questioning assumptions, embracing experimentation, and becoming a complete human. Easy to remember heuristics include: focus on the 20% that produces 80% of the results. Don't confuse correlation with causation. What gets measured gets managed. And remember the MEDI, minimum effective dose. Thanks for watching. Have you read it? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next book dive.